Hello everyone, welcome to our class with Mrs. Darling. Today we are going to be talking about Noten design, which is a Japanese term, and it was used to look at the dark and light, negative and positive space of something, and it helped create composition. So today you're going to need a large piece of paper or cardstock. I have here, it's a 12 by 12 inch, and then here I have a 5 by 5 inch piece of black paper. I think black paper looks good, but you could also do this with complementary colors, so like a purple sheet and a yellow sheet, and you could really play around with the positive and negative space. So what you're going to do is you need also a pencil, a pair of scissors, and a glue stick. This is all that you need, okay? And obviously space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my square, and I'm going to kind of find the center, and I'm going to make a little mark here at the corners. Okay, so that way I know where it went. From there, I'm then going to draw a variety of shapes on all four sides. I don't know if you guys can see this here. I did some organic non-objective shapes, so I'm just kind of playing around with just shape. And I want you guys to notice that I'm not going all the way through the paper. You want to go everything towards the center, and you're going to see why. So once I've made my design, I'm now going to start to cut each shape one by one. Now, if you see, I have this shape, and then I drew something in between. Let's wait on that, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to go as quick as I can. And this might be a good time that if you're watching, you could always go get your materials. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to go to my next one. Don't worry again about the shapes within it, because I'm going to show you something. And if you notice when I cut, I'm not moving the hand that has the scissors. I'm using my other hand to turn the paper. That is the trick to making good cuts and, precise cuts. And as you can see, taking my time, I'm working a little fast, but when you guys are at this point, make sure to take your time. For time purposes, I'm moving quickly, so you don't have to watch this whole thing. So I'm going to continue to cut. I'm going to go to the next one. This is really a good activity to do to practice composition and looking at the positive and negatives. I mean, Notan means dark light. That's what it means in Japanese design. And if you guys ever notice the yin and yang symbol, that's a great example of Noten and the balance of light and dark spaces. Okay, I have one more shape. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. Now, if you guys notice, you can still kind of see the pencil marks. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing this side, I'm going to flip it over, because then you won't be able to see the pencil marks. But look at this. So what I've done here is I'm using those pencil marks that I made, and I'm going to do that. And then what I'm going to take is I'm going to put this back together. So watch this. So I'm putting my shapes in. So it's almost like a puzzle piece, right? And I'm just putting them back in and seeing where they go. Look at that. So it fits. Okay. Now, from here, as you can see, I haven't glued anything yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to flip it. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this. So I'm going to go one by one, and I'm going to flip it. So you're almost going outside of the original square. So I'm going to flip it again. Flip it. And flip it. Ready? Flip it. How cool is that? Now, as you guys can see here, I did that shape there. So what I'm going to do is I think I want to add some more, make it a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these. Now watch this. So this goes here, right? And this was what went here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this back into it. And look what that does. It adds a whole nother depth and really plays. So what would be considered here is we have our positive space, right? This space, even though it's black, this is what is the construction paper. And the white part is my positive space. And this, when you really play around with the contrasting colors, it gives a really nice look to it. Now, before I move any further, I'm going to glue this down. So what I recommend is when you're gluing, you don't want to get glue all over your nice white paper. So I always recommend getting like a scrap piece of paper. I don't really mind this paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this on the side. Move these out of the way, okay? And I'm going to use this as a placemat. And instead of gluing here, I'm going to glue my actual construction paper. So I'm going to show you right here. So watch this. Okay, take my glue stick. I know I'm out of frame a little bit. I'm going to go here. Really make sure you get the edges because that's going to be super important. Okay, I'm going to move this and move this out of the way. And again, this is where your corners really help and come into play. And you always want to work out. Do you see how I'm pushing out? Okay, so I'm going to push out. Okay, and you might even want to go back in. And this is up a little bit, so I'm just going to go here. Push it down. Now, that's matches, and this feels good, and it might be off a little bit, but that's okay. So then from here, look at this. This goes here, right? I just got to make sure that I actually rotated it a little bit, which is totally fine. So again, I'm going to glue, use my placemat. Line up my corner and my corner. Okay, and since I cut this, I'm also going to glue this. Okay, looking pretty good though, right? Super interesting. And so I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to cut out a few more shapes because I just think it would look really nice. And once you have your main paper that you cut out glued down, you can kind of go around and play around with this. So this one here, I always double check, right? So I'm going to glue this. Take that up, line it up. And press down. Do the same thing here. Make sure that lines up. Glue it. Okay. And it goes here. Really starting to come together. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Again, match it up. Okay. This one here, and see how I flip it? Okay. So it's almost like a mirror. See how that flips? I'm gonna do this. Make sure this fits, and then it flips like a mirror. You know, like it's the opposite. And I'm gonna go here. Now this one I'm a little tricky here, but I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, that's gonna look super cool, I think. Okay. So again, I'm going to match it up. Okay, that fits there. So I'm going to glue it down. Flip it. And this went there, so this is going to flip back the other way. So here we go. Flip it. Looking good. All right, 2 more to go. Thanks for bearing with me, guys, and I hope you're maybe doing it while you're watching me. And the cool thing is not every design is going to look the same. They're totally going to be different depending on what shapes you draw. And you could do something more realistic, but I think it's always really fun to start with object or just shapes, because it can turn out to be a really interesting design. So let's do this here. Put this here. Got there, and I got one more. Let's see if it fits. It does. I'm going to cut one. I'm going to cut this little one out. Don't want to lose that. I'm going to put this down there. This would go here and flip it. And we're finished. So what at the end, once this dries, you want to erase all the, the pencil marks that you see. So I'd erase these, but look at this. So cool what you can do with just a piece of paper, glue it, and scissors. I hope you guys liked learning about Noten design, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. And please come back and see the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye.